Hi guys, so today I'm going to continue on my kind of decade to decade look at songwriting and show the cultural impact lyrically that Alex Turner had on an entire indie generation. I'm going to use Arctic Monkeys to speak about a more of a cultural um, element, and Alex Turner was more of a social writer and he had more of a social impact. Speaking about culture, I mean, that's what, to me, I mean, I remember being in that time. It probably still happens, but it'd be like a 16th birthday party, or it'd be a hen do, and it'd be that thing where it's like girls trying to portray that they're like, look at us, we've got this, we've got this big lavish lifestyle. We're in a limo, but they would take something like a limousine and totally dress it down and be fucking wearing bunny ears and devil horn. I remember this. I remember seeing girls at 16th birthday parties getting a limousine and then like looking like fucking class act tarts and then going out on the lash. Anticipation has the habit to set you up for disappointment and even entertainment. But again, it's that whole thing where being young and being in Britain and doing the same thing all the time, and you get yourself so worked up before you go out and you're like, yeah, we're going to go out, we're going to go out, and then you end up doing the same thing that you do every single time. You go to the same pubs, you go to the same nightclub, you see the same women, you see the same people, you do the same things. And I love the way how he speaks about this bit here. I want to see all of the things that we've already seen. I want to see you take the jackpot out of the fruit machine and put it all back in. You've got to understand that you can never beat the bandit. No. Again, who speaks about puggies? And in Britain we call it puggies, and it's like that whole gambling aspect. And again, I want to see all of the things that we've already seen, because that we do the same things all the time. We in Britain and in normal culture at that, especially at that time, we did the same things over and over again, and we did them because that's what everybody else did. You know, it's just you go into a pub in anywhere in Britain, you will find somebody at a fruit machine. Puggy is what we call them. You'll find somebody at a puggy. They'll win the jackpot, and then they'll put all their money back in again because they're obsessed with gambling. They're obsessed with it. It's never good enough. And she won't be surprised and she won't be shocked when she's pressed the star after she's pressed unlock. And there's verse and chapter sat in her inbox, and all that it says is that you drank a lot. I've been there. We all remember that. Getting drunk, sending an absolute essay via MSN, and just like, wanting to tell somebody like that you really love them, or like just wanting to get something off your mind, and the impact that drinking has on the culture. But I remember that, when she's pressed the star after she's pressed unlock, I mean, there's verse and chapter sat in her inbox. It's quite a very, he's speaking about really wide class and like common things, but he does it in quite a very lyrical and quite whimsical way. When I listen to this song, when I listen to A View from the Afternoon, I get taken back to that time, and that's what music should do. To me, that's a timestamp, and I love the fact that he writes about things that I still see to this day. Riot van, great lyrics. Up rolls a riot van and sparks excitement in the boys, but the policemen look annoyed. Perhaps these are the ones they should avoid. Again, we've all been in that way. Again, speaking about young gang culture, we've all been in schemes, and every scheme had a gang and stuff like that, and you'd see the police van and they'd get all excited, and it's like, what kind of mischief are we going to get up to? And it's like, are we going to, like, are they coming for us? Are we going to have to run away? Are we going to have, it's like, and that was the whole thing. It was all that excitement about getting chased from the police and all the kind of things that people weren't writing about. It was not. It was British culture. It was a young youth culture. Got a chase last night from men with truncheons dressed in hats. We didn't do that much wrong. Still ran away though for the laugh, just for the laugh. Again, really young, but we've all been there, and everybody's been there, and it's a thing where it addressed what people were doing at that time, and we would listen to that song and went, yeah, remember when we did that? Or again, it's just it was culture, it was social, it was a social impact that Alex Turner had on the youth, that indie youth. And please just stop talking, because they won't find us if you do. All those silly boys in blue, well, they won't catch me and you. Have you been drinking, son? You don't look old enough to me. I'm sorry, officer. Is there a certain age you're supposed to be? Because nobody told me. Really, really clever. I mean, I love that whole. It's that whole British way of speaking and that whole tongue in cheek. That it's kind of in Scottish and English people, Irish people, Welsh people. We've got that cheek in us. It's just the cheek of youth. I love that. I'm sorry, officer. There's a certain age you're supposed to be because nobody told me. You know, we've all had friends and we've all been times in our life where we've been cheeky to teachers and authority, and it's that, and it's just very whimsical, and I find it amusing, because loads of people listened to that and went, I totally get that. Up rolls a riot van and these lads just wind the coppers up. Then they ask why they don't catch proper crooks. They get their address and their names took, but they couldn't care less. Thrown in the riot van and all the coppers kicked him in, and there was no way he could win. Just had to take it on the chin. And I think what Alex Turner was writing about here was still is quite important to this day. Where I understand what he's saying. He's like, up rolls this big massive police van. We call them meat wagons in Scotland. You know, up comes a meat wagon, and it's like they spend all this time looking for kids going about streets. When why are you not out? Why are you not out catching the coke dealers? Why are you not catching the drug dealers? Why are you not catching the thieves and, you know, the proper crooks? Because really, what you do is you spend all that time, half an hour chasing after these kids. You find them and you get their address and their names took, and nothing happens. It's like, let's take your name, let's get a letter sent to your mum and dad. When really it's like, why aren't you going out catching? Why aren't you catching the people that you should be out, that are actually having a really massive impact on our country? And again, thrown in the riot van, the coppers kicked him in. There was no way he could win, just had to take it on the chin. Again, it's talking about police brutality, which I've not found in Dundee, but there has been stories throughout Dundee and Britain where you kind of get police brutality, where sometimes young lads and stuff like that, they're just a bit too cheeky, and you know, there's no cameras around. They get chucked in the back of a van. Coppers give them a bit of a kicking just as a bit as a lesson, which obviously can't happen, but it's true, and it's happened, and it probably still happens in some parts, you know. But nobody was writing about this. This was right. Alex Turner was writing about youth. He was writing about us, and that's what we felt. Us was the youth culture of Britain at that time. And he wasn't writing about, so for example, in A View for the Afternoon, he's writing about going out, but the complete and utter lack of disappointment that going out in Britain gives you, going into the same places all the time, seeing the same things, going into a pub and seeing a guy at a puggy win the jackpot and then put all his money back in. You know, it's the complete normality that we see, and we do the same things all the time. Where in modern culture it's all about, let's write songs that's braced for the weekend. We don't write about Monday to Friday, we write about the weekend. Let's write songs for the weekend. Let's write songs about going out and getting drunk and having the best time of our life. Let's forget about the Monday to Friday. Let's think about the weekend. Let's go to clubbing, let's go to dancing. Alex Turner took the reality of that and put that into a song, which is, I still love. I love Riot Van. I get taken back to those times of my youth. It's a timestamp. Mardy Bum. It's just a really, really clever song. Well, now that Mardy Bum, I've seen your frown, and it's like looking down the barrel of a gun, and it goes off, and out come all these words, and there's a very pleasant side to you, a side I much prefer. Really clever play on words. I've seen your frown, and it's like looking down the barrel of a gun, and it goes off, and out come all these words, and there's a very pleasant side to you. And you know, it's just, I like the way that he writes visually, but he does it in a very colloquial sense. I look at that and go, I totally know and understand what you mean by that. This still gets people to this day, this lyric. Remembered cuddles in the kitchen to get things off the ground, and it's all up and away, but it's right hard to remember. And again, colloquialism, it's right hard to remember that on a day like today, when you're all argumentative and you've got the face on. And to me, it's just all about being in a relationship. So Lewis Capaldi writes about being in a relationship from a side of heartbreak. Alex Turner writes about being in a relationship, for me, in a very day-to-day real life situation. that's what it's like being in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's like, well then, Mardy Bum. And Mardy Bum in Sheffield, it's like, especially when somebody, we call it in Dundee, like in the cream puff, when you're in the huff. So, like, well now then, Mardy Bum. Oh, I'm in trouble again, aren't I? I thought as much because you turned over there, pulling that silent disappointment face, the one that I can't bear. You know, and it's again, it's speaking about relationships, but speaking it from a really true and realistic viewpoint. You know, I could sit there and I've already, it's like telling a story. I can kind of already visualize the couple that he's writing about. Sometimes people write it and go, you're writing about me and you. um I love this bit, and I can't be asked to carry on in this debate that reoccurs on when you say I don't care, but of course I do, I really do. That's real, that's what we do. But people don't seem to want to write about the boring day-to-day things that we go through every day in life, but he did. You know, it's like I missed the train and then the traffic was a state. I can't be asked to carry on with this debate that reoccurs. That's what happens. That's what we do in life. We're late for things, and we have stupid, petty arguments, and little things turn into big things, and everybody does it. And we think that because it's just common culture that we don't need to write about it. Of course, you want to write about it because I love listening to these songs and being reminded of that time in my life. And it's just for somebody that was that young to write songs that way, really clever. Nobody else was doing it. Nobody else was doing it. A Certain Romance. If you're ever looking for a cultural timestamp, A Certain Romance is it. I love it. This is my youth. Oh well, they might wear classic Reeboks or knackered Converse or tracky bottoms tucked in socks, but all of that is what the point is not. The point is that there ain't no romance around here. Again, might wear classic Reeboks or knackered Converse or tracky bottoms tucked in socks. I remember I never ever wore tracky bottoms tucked in socks. I just want to make everybody aware I never wore tracky bottoms tucked in socks, but loads of people did. And it was an embarrassment. I used to look at these guys and be like, my God, what a state. And the truth that they can't see, they probably like to throw a punch at me. And if you can only see them, then you would agree that there ain't no romance around here. Again, gang culture, it's like going to the shops and again, sometimes I'm going to walk past a gang of guys and being like, sometimes you get guys that are just like wanting to have a go at you for no reason, and you're just kind of like, fuck's sake, there's no love in this town at all. It's just like the fight of the fittest. And again, I remember being in places and going through certain schemes and just kind of like, okay, this guy's just like, if I go past these guys, I might get jumped on. You know what I mean? And nobody was writing about that at that time. And of course it's all okay to carry on that way, and I used to think the same. I used to be like, why are we acting like this? Why are we getting in groups of people, like 30 people sitting at shops and like kicking shit out at people for no reason? I just never ever got it. Because over there there's broken bones, there's only music, so that there's new ringtones, and it don't take no Sherlock Holmes to see it's a little different around here. Again, that's what people weren't writing about, what was actually going on in the schemes. This is what was going on. And again, timestamp, there's only music, so that there's no there's new ringtones. At that point, ringtones was a really big thing, and I remember like the song that you had on your ringtone was like told somebody who you were. Like, and I always remember having to sit there through my phone, and whatever song I had as my ringtone at that time, I had to think about it clearly and I thought really hard about it, because if my phone went off and I was in a group of certain people, I was like, I want this song to be like a fucking tune. So if they go, oh, this guy's actually alright, man, you know what I mean? And it was like a really big thing for me. Don't get me wrong though, there's boys in bands and there's kids who like to scrap with pool cues in their hands, and just because he's had a couple of cans, he thinks it's alright to act like a dickhead. It's again speaking about the culture, and at that time when there was loads of boys in bands, in Dundee, when The View came around, again the Doghouse was really big, everybody and their uncle was in a band, but there was also still that gang culture with guys that would go to you go to a snooker hall and end up finding out somebody had been like battered over the head with a pool cue. And again, it was that whole thought process of having to like go out and try to get somebody to buy your alcohol and your drink for you, and You know, it's like, and then somebody has a couple of cans, and all of a sudden they're just a dick. And I remember going out at certain times, and like, you know, going into like forests and stuff like that. So when the police didn't find you, and like being in a group of people, and you always get that guy that has like too much to drink, and they just turn into an absolute arsehole. And that was again youth culture. Boys in bands scrap with pool cues in their hands just because he's had a couple of cans. And again, dickhead. You know, it's colloquialism, and it's real, and that's what was going on at that time. People would actually see that as really literal and quite colloquial, but it's quite poetic. But he does it in such a very rough way, and that's things what makes Alex Turner who he is. To me, that was him at his best. And I think the last one, I think for me lyrically, I just, again, it's like brainstorm, like the t-shirt and tie combination, Teddy Picker. You know, it's like do the bad thing, you know, take off your wedding ring. I kind of fell out of love lyrically with Alex Turner, and then Crying Lightning and stuff like that, it just wasn't for me. But then he came out with Cornerstone, and I'm going to end it with Cornerstone because it reminded me of how good a lyricist he was. So again, he speaks about, I thought I saw you in the battleship, but it was just a lookalike, and the whole song's about kind of loving somebody so much that everywhere you go you think you see them, and you've constantly got them on the brain. And again, I love that. Please can I call you her name? Seeing somebody that looks like them. Again, she was close enough to be your ghost, but my chances turned to toast when I asked her if I could call her your name. Again, I love that colloquialism. My chances turned to toast when I asked her if I could call you her name. You know, loving somebody that much that even just a lookalike, and like having to ask them, can I spend some time with you and call you her name, just so I could still feel that I'm still with her. And I love this bit here. This is just so elegant in the way he does it. And I elongated my lift home. Yeah, I let him go the long way round. I smelt your scent on the seatbelt and kept my shortcuts to myself. If ever you wanted to find... Again, Lewis Capaldi writes about heartbreak. Alex Turner writes about heartbreak, but he does it in such a creepy way. But it's at the very end of the spectrum. And I love how he writes that way. And he just writes so poetically, but it's heartbreak at, like, to me, at its worst. You know, it's to the point where you're almost stalking, and you're almost like, it's just creepy. But I elongated my lift home. Yeah, I let him go the long way round. And I smelt your scent on the seatbelt and kept my shortcuts to myself. You know, it's kind of like going and just finding the same taxi that you know that she was in, and you could still smell her scent on the seatbelt. And then it's like, I let him purposely go the long way around and pay the extra fare just so I could smell that scent on the seatbelt. That is it's got such a powerful connotation. And again, I love that he keeps on going back to it. So he keeps on, I think these are just pubs. I sort of saw you in the Parrot's Beak messing with the smoke alarm. It was too loud for me to hear her speak, and she had a broken arm. It was close, so close that the walls were wet, and she wrote out in letters set, no, you can't call me her name. He just ends it, when I saw that she was on her own, I thought she might understand. She was close, well, you couldn't get much closer. She says, I'm not really supposed to, but yes, you can call me anything you want. And I love the way that he ends it, because it's kind of a curveball. And it's just quite poetic in the way that he does it, and it's taken love and heartbreak, and I don't think anybody else has ever written a song like that. I said Adele writes Someone Like You, never mind, I'll find someone like you. Alex Turner takes that to another extent, and he does it in such a poetic way, and it's heartbreak, but in a quite humorous and an almost creepy way, but just really poetic and really clever. It's one of to me, it's one of his best songs. It's probably the best love song that I think he's ever wrote. And it just, for me, just, it's Alex Turner's way of kind of writing about heartbreak, and it's really clever without being too pompous or arrogant. And it's just really, really clever. And he's a really good songwriter, but I think that as he started to get a little bit older, Okay, really good songs. Do I want to know? Are you mine? Why do you only call me when you're high? Lyrically, he's still clever. I think he just got a little bit, for me, a little bit too clever. And I don't feel I can connect to his songs as much as I used to. And again, I don't have that timestamp that I do with these songs. But he's still a good songwriter, but lyrically, I think he's just a bit too ambiguous now. List of number one digital songs of 2020. So let's look at what Alex Turner, the way that he writes or wrote, compared to what's in the charts just now. So I do my hair toss. Fuck, is it that song? I do my hair toss, check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Hair toss, check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Woo child, tired of the bullshit. Go on, dust your shoulders off, keep it moving. Yes, Lord, trying to get some new shit in there. Swimwear, going to the pool, shit. Come on now. Come dry your eyes, you know you're a star, you can touch the sky, you know it's hard but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify. Okay, I get what she's trying to say something in the song, and it's basically just like, know what, doesn't matter what you look like, if you can be positive about yourself and feel good as hell. But for me, I don't, it doesn't feel any emotion to it. And like when my daughter sings it, she just loves a hair toss, check my nails, and she just loves to sing that song. So I think lyrically, it's just like she knew what she was doing. It was like female empowerment and feeling good about yourself. So it's still saying something, but again, it's just, again, look back at the lyrics. I just tired of the bullshit. Go dust your shoulders off, keep it moving. In there, swimwear, going to the pool, shit. Come on now, dry your eye. Come on. It doesn't do anything for me. It just doesn't give me any emotion. Fair enough, I understand what she's trying to write about, but it's just a bit, again, it's a bit generic. Memories, Maroon 5. You were here, but you're not, because the drinks bring back all the memories of everything that we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, because the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories, bring back you. There's a time that I remember when I did not know the pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart's feel like December when somebody say your name, because I can't reach out to call you, but I know we will one day. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts some days, but everything's going to be alright. Just go raise a glass and say, nah. Know what I like? I like this bit. I like the toast to the ones here today, toast to the ones that we lost on the way, because the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories, bring back you. I like that. I really, really like that. But then again, he just gets really generic. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts some days, but everything's going to be alright. It's just, I like that. But the rest of it's really generic, and it's just, I don't take anything from it. He could have really went really deep with this song. And again, think about Maroon 5. I mean, She Will Be Loved and stuff like that. My God, that first album was superb. So it's okay lyrics, but he could have done more with it, and I think what he's done is he's kept it really, really, really generic in the rest of it, and I just think it kind of ruins it. Yummy. I don't need to go through Yummy, do I? Really? Lyrically, does Yummy compare Yummy to View from the Afternoon? Does that compare? No, we're not going to go through Yummy. Life is Good, Drake. Alright, fucking Drake lyrics, here we go. Working on the weekend like usual, ways off in the deep end like usual. Swear they passed us, they doing too much. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Virgil got a patek on my wrist, going nuts. It's caught me slipping once, okay, so what? Someone hit your block up, I'd tell you if it was us. Manor House in Rosewood, this shit too plush. No! Again, this is what's wrong with lyrics. See, like all of these lyrics, it's all about, look what I've got, look what I can achieve. Insta life. You know, it's kind of like, I don't want to be like you, and you guys want to be like me. I don't take anything from that song whatsoever, and I don't think anybody else takes anything from that song. Probably just like the beat and like the fact that it's Drake. What a Man Gotta Do, Jonas Brothers. Got my heart about 1-2 times. Don't need to question the reason I'm yours, I'm yours. I'd move the earth or lose a fight just to see you smile. 'Cause you got no flaws. I'm not trying to be a part-time lover. Sign me up for that full-time. I'm yours. So what a man gotta do, I'd be totally locked up by you. What a man gotta say. Oh, for fuck's sake. A 14-year-old could write this. This is the problem. Again, think about what Morrissey, Lewis Capaldi, Alex Turner, um, just and again those three videos that I've done. Just think about what the kind of stuff that they write about and what they convey, and I can't take anything from that. It's so literal and it's so cheesy poppy, and it's just like, yeah, I've heard this a million thousand times. It's generic. I don't take anything from it. I don't listen to that and go, I'm feeling really emotional. And again, I really like that lyric, and I can kind of visualize what you're speaking about. There's no visual connotations in there. It's just garbage. Only the Young. Oh, it's Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift has come up with quite a good lyrics in her time, and I'll give her due. Let's see. It keeps me awake, the look on your face, the moment you heard the news. You're screaming inside and frozen in time. You did all that you could do. The game was rigged, the ref got tricked. The ones they think they're right. You were outnumbered this time. But only the young, only the young, only the young can run, so run and run. Every day now you brace for the sound you've only heard on TV. You've got to class scared, wondering where the best hiding spot would be. And the big bad man and his big bad clan, their hands are stained with red. Oh, how quickly they forget. I've watched the Taylor Swift documentary. I kind of know what she's trying to say in this song, but it's too simple, and it's a little bit too ambiguous. And again, when you hear the chorus, it's just like, yep, same. I don't take any emotional context from it, and it's just being too vague. Where Alex Turner and Morrissey are just kind of like, this is what's going down. Think about Morrissey. I'd like to drop my trousers to the Queen. Any sensible child will know what this means. The poor and the needy are selfish and greedy in her terms. That's how you say something. If you want to say something, don't try and mask it. And and the big bad man with his big bad clan, their hands are stained with red. Oh, how quickly they forget. You know what I mean? Just if you're going to try and say something, say it, because that's too ambiguous, and it's just too vague, and again the chorus is just, come on, but only the young, only the young, only the young, only the young can run, so run and run and run. Fuck off. And no, it's not. I'm not taking that. So sorry, Taylor. That lyrically isn't doing anything for me. Nicki Minaj, yikes. No, I'm not even going to bother. It's Nicki Minaj. Fucking hell, yikes. Fuck off. Let's see. No Time to Die. It's a Bond song, so there's no really point going through that. It's kind of the same stuff all the time that all sound the same. Blinding Lights have done another song. So there's the best selling songs of this year. And really, we've got nobody really given any good lyrical context here. There's no timestamps in there. There's no social reference. Taylor Swift's tried to do it, but very vaguely. You would not be able to listen to any of these songs and know what time that they were released in. Lizzo's trying to kind of do that, kind of trying to say something, but still in a very pop-sheened way. Maroon 5, again, trying to bring in some clever lyrics, but again, generalise the rest of the song. Yummy, you don't have to go through that. Drake, just simple. All these guys are writing about the same stuff. Money, money, money. Insta. Follow me. You want to have my life, and I don't want to be like you. Again, all the rest are just Demi Lovato trying. I can kind of. So again, the song is performed. Her first performance since suffering a near fatal drug overdose in July 2018. That same day, it was made available for purchase and streaming. So. At least she's trying to say something, and I'll give her due that she's trying to say something. But still, it's a little bit too vague, and it's quite hard for the fans to connect, because she's writing obviously about a drug overdose and stuff like that when she's a pop star. A lot of we can't really. You can sympathise and empathise, but you can't really connect, and you can't really see it on her terms, on her page. Well, Alex Turner was writing about stuff that I was going through, all my mates were going through, all the youth in Britain were going through. There's no youth culture here. There's no emotional tie-in. There isn't nothing that you kind of go, wow, they were really going through this, and they've genuinely etched their soul onto a song. None of that's going on here. So again, we're in a place now where we're not writing lyrically about anything important. We're not trying to say anything. If we are trying to say something, it's really vague, because we don't want to piss off the record labels, and we're very scared about people getting offended. That's not what we do, you know what I mean? Alex Turner was talking about guys scrapping my pool cues in their hands, speaking about riot vans and fucking, you know, like the coppers, the bent coppers kicking shit out of young guys. You know, that's what life was. That's life, and we don't speak about that anymore. But again, I'm just trying to speak about music. This is what I'm trying to do, and we don't speak about music in the way that we used to. So the next video is going to be about Damon Albarn from Blur. So that's going to be covering the 90s. So Morrissey was covering the 80s. Lewis Capaldi was covering the teenies. Alex Turner today was covering the naughties, and Damon is going to be covering the 90s because Damon had a fantastic lyricist. It'll be another great video to go through his lyrics. And again, I'll compare probably some. I don't know what I'm going to compare it against, but I've got time to think about that. So thanks again, guys. Like, subscribe. Most importantly, always subscribe. Please, please, please subscribe. I want you guys to follow me on my journey. And again, I want you guys to listen to my singles and my album, which will be out some point this year. And you guys can hear the lyrical influences that I am speaking about here in my music and how I was influenced by these guys. So thanks again for listening, guys. And I'll catch you on the next video.